What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. One of the most asked questions I get is how long should it take for an item to sell? Is it better to lower the price of an item or let it sit at that price? How long should you let it sit at that price? So I'm going to address some of those questions today. I figured it warranted a full video, especially to people who are new to selling on eBay. That's, one of the things they're most curious about. Also, I'll put some thrifting in the background so you don't have to just stare at me. So how long does it take an item to sell? Of course, that's going to depend on the item that you're selling. I've said this many times before. If you have a good item and you price it at a good price, it's going to sell, right? It just makes sense. Depends on other things though, like competition, how good your pictures are. Your shipping cost is a big one. But that's included kind of in the price, right? You shouldn't be pricing things that are worth $200 plus shipping. You'd have to price them like $175 and then have the estimated shipping cost, right? Because that's what people perceive the value as. So they're not going to pay that much more for it and the shipping on top of it. But just for an example, if you do have a $200 item and everyone else is selling theirs for $200, you can kind of control how fast you sell an item. If you price that $200 item $150, it's going to sell quick, right? You price it $200 with everyone else, then you have to start looking at the details. Is your shipping better than everyone else? Is the condition better? Photos, description. Is your feedback as good as others? Because then that's what people start looking at. But to just sell an item that's a desirable item, price is usually what matters. People get hung up on promotions and trying to capitalize on advertising and all that stuff. I don't think that's necessary for most items on eBay at all. So my approach to this, and you can do it however you want. If you want to price your items lower, you're getting them at a good price and you want to sell them quicker, do that. I price mine competitively, but I want to also make as much money as possible because I do this for a full-time living and I sell a lot of items. So getting that extra money really adds up at the end of the year. Also, I'm in no hurry to sell this stuff because I am in the long game. I have a setup for space where I put all my items. If you're just kind of selling casually, you don't have a lot of space, of course, you're going to want to sell your items quicker than me. I've had the question before is, why don't you just sell your items quicker so you free up more money so you can buy more items? For me, that's also not an issue. Thankfully, I have plenty of money in the bank that I can buy items, as I find them. Don't have to worry about selling my items as quickly as possible just to generate more money. If you're new to this, you have a small bankroll to start. I get it because I was there. You're going to want to flip things maybe quicker, kind of snowball that, right? But back to the $200 example, like an item you're selling. If you're seeing comps and the sell-through rate's pretty good, you're seeing people sell it between 150 to 250, and you think, well, I want to sell mine for 250. So you put it on there for 250, but there's still other people that have it listed for 200 or lower. Obviously, theirs are probably going to sell quicker because someone's not going to look at your pictures and be like, well, this one has better pictures. I'm paying $50 more. And good items that have a good sell-through rate, I'm definitely going to try to price higher and just wait, even if it takes me a year longer to get that extra $50. I'm okay with that because I'm doing this long term. I'm selling in bulk. I'm wanting my profits to raise. If I was short on space, I needed a quick flip, I needed quick money, price at $150, you're probably selling it the same day. So you definitely can kind of control how you sell your items and how quickly they can sell. But there are some items people just won't buy. You can put them on there for a good deal. Unfortunately, I come across some of those I think are going to be, fast sellers. They're not. And then I'm putting them on eBay. I'm waiting for them to sell. It's been 2 years. I'm looking. I'm like, this is priced very fair, but it's just not a good item. People just don't want it. I was wrong. It happens. Luckily, it doesn't happen too much. If you're buying these things at a good price, though, you're usually not losing money. Let's say I buy, here's an actual example. I bought some, I think they're called Pearl bike shoes. I thought I could make some money on them. They've been listed for years at this point. I think I just recently lowered them down to $10. Now, I got these at a garage sale for like $1 or $2. I picked them up, thought they would sell. They're just not a good brand. People just aren't buying them, at least mine. And I have them at a great price because other people that have them listed, not that theirs are selling either, but they're priced a lot higher than mine. Mine were priced at like $25, $30 to begin with. At some point they might sell because there are some sales comps for them, but there's so many on eBay and the demand is so low that people just aren't going to buy these. Even though if they did sell at $10, I'd still make profit. It's not really worth it at this point. So have the option to remove them from eBay and just get them out of there, donate them, throw them away, whatever I want to do, right? Again, this is my opinion. This is how I do it. Not saying my way is the right way or even the best way, and you can do it however you want. This is just my take on it. I've already spent the time sourcing those and listing them. There's no reason for me to actually remove them from eBay. I'll just keep lowering the price. Like, I could still price these at about $5 and get my money, my dollar or two I spent on them, right? This is just one example. Like, there's items where you can do that with different price points, but it's much easier to just lower the price, give someone a good deal who does want them, to get them out of there, or just wait, because they probably will sell at some point, right? But it's a lesson to not buy those again. And just an example here, just not every item is going to be worth selling. McDonald's toys is another example. People pick those up. They put them on eBay. There's 8 billion of them. Even if you got them at a good price, they might take longer to sell and the profit's just not there. Now, for lowering prices, how long should I wait till I start dropping my price? For me, I only adjust prices like once or twice a year, usually around the holiday season when I'm going to be getting a lot more sales. I go through and I just adjust the prices. I say, oh, this has been listed a year. Let's lower the price. I see an item. Oh, this has a lot of watchers, so I'll lower it a little bit. Maybe that will trigger someone. And I do send offers. So every weekend I send offers to people who are watching. I think that's good to do as well. But as for lowering prices, I usually don't do that unless something really sticks out. I have some $400 items that have a lot of watchers, and I've sent 10% off offers and no one's still buying it. That's a pretty good sign that my price is too high. I think at some point they will sell. Probably when I go do my price adjustments, they're going to get cut like 25%. And then maybe when I send a 10% offer, if it doesn't sell when I do the 25%, it will sell then. I'm a firm believer of pricing things a little bit high to start, especially things you don't know the true value, and just lowering them casually until someone buys them. Again, if you got a good item, at any point you can lower the price and get an immediate sale if you need to. So that is definitely my take on it. You can also do things like best offer if you want to increase sales. Best offer is popular among a lot of people. I ended up turning it off because I just got tired of all the lowball offers constantly. My phone blowing up every few minutes with some lowball offer, and you can set a threshold, so if someone offers too low, it just immediately declines it. But then you got people they'll still send you messages and ask you if you'll do lower. I have them turned off and I still get messages almost daily, just people asking me to take 75% off the cost of an item, right? And sometimes I do get the occasional person that will send me a message and say, hey, can I get this, at a cheaper price? And their offer is actually decent. And I'm like, this has been sitting for a while, so I do go ahead and do that. But usually I just ignore those. Again, because I'm confident that at any point I can lower the price and get a sale. I don't need to just cave in to the first person who, sends an offer, right? But that's also dependent on the item. You just can't go into eBay thinking anything you list on eBay is going to sell for the price you want it at. You have to do your research. Has to have a good sell-through rate. When I say sell-through rate, the best way you can determine that is go to your eBay filters when you do a search on eBay. See how many of the current item is listed, and then go to the filters, filter by sold and completed, and you'll see all the ones that have sold. And if you got 10 of that item listed and you got 25, 30 sold comps, then you know that the sell-through rate's good, right? Because there's less listed than what's selling. You got to be careful if you are on eBay and you look up an item, there's 50 of them listed and there's only one sales comp. You're going to have a hard time selling yours, right? Items like that, you just pass on, because even if you get them and you price them really low, you might not be able to sell your item. Also, there's auctions. Back to the bike shoes I was talking about. If you actually want to get rid of your items, a good thing to do is just price them 99 cents plus shipping, the calculated shipping, so buyer pays the exact amount. A lot of times the 99-cent auctions will generate enough sales, enough attention where, people will just be like, that's a good deal for 99 cents. And you'll end up selling those bike shoes maybe for 7, maybe more than 10 than what you have listed. It's weird how that works sometimes. But the purpose is to just get as much money back as possible, because this is a stagnant item and you just want it gone, right? It's also good just to get rid of items in general. If you're just looking to make quick profit, you don't really care about letting items sit. Just do an auction, start the items low, let them sit for a week on auction. Whatever they sell for, they sell for. I know a lot of people who buy storage units and they're just like, I just want to move this stuff. They just put everything up for a low auction, start at 99 cents, and they do fine. It's just about moving in bulk, right? It's kind of like Goodwill. I think if they would focus more on just getting as much bulk out for other people to buy and not worry about sending them to be sold online, I think they would do better. I think they would get a lot more shoppers. But I don't need to get on that rant again. I've ranted so much about goodwill and their practices I don't agree with. But that's basically it, guys. If you want an item to sell quicker, you have to price it lower than everyone else. It has to be a desirable item. So it's all about doing your research to begin with. You also have to consider that clothing and shoes and things that have, sizes, different colors, it takes the right buyer to come along buy those. Shoes are going to take a lot longer to sell in general, unless there's something special. Sometimes, a pair of shoes will sell the same day because there's someone looking for that same style of shoe. They probably have it saved on eBay and they check every day hoping their size will pop up, right? I've had 2 pairs of shoes before, the exact same, different sizes. One sells immediately and the other sits for over a year before it sells. So you just have to be realistic when it comes to eBay. You can't lie to yourself. You can't say, I'm just going to list this for $20 because I see others selling for $20. There's different factors you have to consider. I think one reason people like my channel is because I'm very realistic about reselling. I'm always considering the fees, the cost, the competition, where it's going. Also, one of the most things you have to consider, again, is the shipping. People do not like to pay much for shipping. If you're doing free shipping, you're getting more sales. If you're doing returns, you're getting a lot more sales. I know some people just don't want to do returns. I would never buy from somebody who don't offer returns on eBay, so I always offer them. Every now and then you get into trouble with returns, but let's be honest, if somebody wants to return something on eBay, they can just claim that the item was not described properly and eBay will force you to return it anyway. So you might as well cash in on all those extra sales just offering the returns. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know your strategies. I love to hear how other people are running their eBay stores. If you did enjoy the video, got something out of it, just hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, flipping_junk. Even though I'm hardly ever using social media at this point, I hate it, but I'm there and I do post occasionally. And I appreciate all the support over the years, the following, and I keep stepping away from the mic. This video is probably going to have terrible audio. Anyway, this has been Wick. Till next time.